What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well today. And today we're talking college football. So I'm excited to make this video for you guys. It's gonna be my full college football strategy and what I'm gonna be rocking with this year. Yeah, basically we're hitting rush yards, receiving yards, anytime TDs, and then we can hit pass yards too. But they're all gonna be the alternate lines. We're not hitting any like less thins. We're hitting all like overs and we're hitting all like alternate lines like a little bit higher than their normal lines. So what I would do first off, to like kind of filter through all the players we got here is we're gonna kind of look at the lines that are like the least the lowest, right? So for rushing yards, we're looking at lines like 45 yards and lower. This is just for the Thursday games, but there's probably more in the Saturday games. But we're looking at like lines that are like 40 yards and lower. We don't really want to go above that. And we kind of want to like pay attention to which team's better, right? So for NFL, there's like a lot less blowouts, a lot more close games. Teams are more evenly matched, but college, they're going to be a lot of blowouts. So whenever the game's got like a minus 14 spread one way, it's probably going to be a blowout, right? So if the spread's like, all right, let's find some examples. So if the spread's like minus 15 for Bowling Green here. Bowling Green is going to run more this game. Lafayette is going to pass more this game. Because you got to think the second half, Bowling Green's going to be up a bunch. They're going to try to run out the clock, right? So they're going to be running a lot more. Lafayette in the second half, they're going to be passing a lot more. So we want to keep that in mind. So we want to look at the spreads for college games before we make our picks and just kind of determine what type of a game it's going to be. If it's a close game, there's going to be a lot more passing. If it's a blowout on one side, the team that's winning is going to be running a lot more. The team that's losing is going to be passing a lot more, and so on. So, um, if we're hitting like receiving yards, we want to like find those close games, or we want to be betting on the losing team's receiving yards, right? Because they're going to be passing a lot towards the end. So yeah, we're looking at lines for rushing yards, like under 45 yards. So any of these guys we could technically hit. But like these lines are kind of high. It's like kind of hard to do alternate lines in college football just because all the lines are pretty high. But I'm sure not all the data is in right here, so there'd probably be more data in, and then we can hit their alternate lines. We want to hit like 15 or 20 yards higher than their normal line. That's like the magic formula, right? So say we hit this Ohio State QB for like 30 rushing yards, or we look at like maybe like a running back. We kind of want to hit the running backs, not the QBs, if possible. But the QBs do run a lot more in college, so that is a thing. But yeah, if we could find like a running back like this guy, if this guy was a starter, we want to check if he's a starter first, and maybe we could hit him for like 60 or 70 yards. But there's not much data up right now, so it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, we're looking at lower lines, right? We don't want to hit the higher lines; those ones are already kind of cooked. If we want to hit an alternate line even higher than their line, it's a little bit too hard. But maybe we hit Madsen for 30 yards here. We hit Gunn for 60 yards, Scott for 60 yards. We're gonna get like way better odds when we're doing it like that. Um, but that's how we do the rush yards. So we're looking at receiving yards as well. So we want the line to be under 35 yards for this. And like I said, we want it to be a close game or kind of the like losing team. We want to be betting on the losing team's receiving yards, not the winning teams. But you never know. Like the winning team guy, their receiving yards might pop off in the first half, but like in the second half, they're really not gonna get much done because they're not gonna be passing much. So yeah, if they keep the games close, if they keep the game within like 14 points, they'll keep passing. But like once they're up by like 17 or more, they're just gonna be running out the clock. Even if they're up 14, they're gonna be running out the clock. But like if they're up three scores, they're definitely gonna be running out the clock the second half if the coach is smart. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But we want to be targeting like running back receiving yards or wide receiver three, wide receiver four, wide receiver two receiving yards as well. So what we can do here, look at their last five games, kind of see who's been doing good in the last season. A lot of these players are new, and a lot of these players just transferred teams. just because of the way that college football works now. So they're not going to have a lot of data on these guys until like a few games into the season when we know who's good, we know who's the starters, and we know like what people's roles are on the team, right? But once we learn all the players, it's going to be a lot easier. Once we kind of get some stats to kind of figure out how good they are, it's going to be a lot easier. But yeah, like I said, look at the lines, look at the lower lines first. So this is for Thursday games. So we're gonna look at this 5.5 yard line, 10.5 yard line, and we're gonna take these guys at like 20 or 25 receiving yards, and we're gonna get really good odds on them, right? For these guys, maybe we hit Gears for 40 yards, we hit Brockington for 40 yards. Not horrible plays. But we're kind of just looking at the lower lines and then adding like 15 or 20 yards to them, and then taking their alternate lines at like plus 300, plus 400 on different sports books. But yeah, that's kind of the basis of the strategy. Like receiving yards and rushing yards. It's going to be mostly receiving yards for me for college football. And we could also hit alternate passing lines as well. If we see a good matchup, we see a good close game, or we see the team's going to lose, then we want to hit the alternate passing yards on the team that's going to lose. Or if it's a close game, we can hit it on either quarterback. But we want to look at the spreads beforehand just to kind of know how the games are going to go. The spreads and the totals will tell us what the score is going to be, basically. So here we could hit Austin for like 20 yards or 30 yards. Let's try to find some more examples here. So look at the Saturday games. Once again, sorting with the low lines. Um, see, we can hit any of these receivers for like 30 yards. We'll probably get like plus 200, plus 250 odds. Not too bad, but yeah, there's not that much. They don't have all the games up right now, so it's kind of hard to give you guys good picks. So anytime TDs we can also do as well. So we want to look at people that have maybe gotten a touchdown in the past. Um, Once again, there's not much data because a lot of these players are new, but we kind of want to see who's the starting running back, who's the starting receivers, and if they're starting, they definitely got a chance at getting a touchdown. If they're the starting running back, they got a good chance of getting a touchdown. So we want to look at the depth charts of the teams and kind of figure out who's going to be starting. But yeah, I'd say take any line that's like above plus 200 for a touchdown. For a player that's starting and getting some action, and especially if it's like a high scoring game or it's supposed to be a high scoring game, like we like anytime TD players. So like any of these guys, not horrible picks, but we kind of want to do some research on each guy before we're picking them for a touchdown. But yeah, if we get in the plus 300, plus 400 range, that's a good range. That's a sweet spot. But like after that, like plus 500 and above, it's kind of pretty unlikely. They're probably like the wide receiver 3 or 4 or the running back 2 um, in a lot of cases. So just keep that in mind. Like plus 200 to plus like 500 is probably the sweet spot for anytime TDs. But we're just looking for alternate lines so we can make our 2 leg parlays or 3 leg parlays with the alternate lines and actually get a good payout. But yeah, that's how I'm going to be running college football this year. I will make another video when we get more like data and stuff. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.